What is up, Mile High Horseman? Okay, what is up, Mile High Horseman? This is your lead horseman, Corwin, and welcome to the premiere episode of the Mile High Horseman Show. I got my co-host with me.
Turbo Days, Jared here, wanting to wish all you guys for tuning in. Wanted to talk about my experience as a Bronco fan, how I became a Bronco fan. Uh, for the longest time, I used to watch the Minnesota Vikings. They're on Fox, and then I would decide to change it to the CBS channel where they play AFC games. And then the Broncos were playing, and I enjoyed their play style and the players, and started to become a fan of them back in 1995 around that time. So, and my favorite experiences as a Bronco fan have been going to the games, seeing those two Super Bowl wins against the Green Bay Packers and Atlanta Falcons, and the times going to the football games in Kansas City and in Denver, for the Monday Night Football game with the Raiders, where we got to tailgate and get to meet everybody in person, all those Bronco fans out there. So, and my favorite Bronco player is Ed McCaffrey, because he used to take hard hits and be able to catch the ball and get up afterwards. So, um, what's yours, Adrian? What are your experiences?
Well, let me just start out by saying, again, my name is Adrian. I've been a Bronco fan for 17 years now, ever since I was 2 years old. Just remembering, when I was 2 years old, just being sat in front of the TV. My very first game I ever watched, it was when I was 2 years old. My grandpa sat me in front of the TV and says, "Hey, you want to watch a game?" It's like, "Yep." I don't know what this is, but I'll watch it. And it's like he taught me everything about the team. He taught me all the players. He taught me everything about it, and I fell in love with the team. And since then, I've been a Bronco fan ever since. And just some of my favorite moments as a Bronco fan, just like my very first game ever was in 2000 against the Raiders on Monday Night Football at the old Mile High Stadium. Just a great experience in the South Stands. It was very loud. It was a great experience. But I got to say that, the two Super Bowls is obviously my favorite. But last year when we went to the game, just like Jared said, going to the tailgate, meet some good people. Uh, the guy who hosted our tailgate party, he was awesome. He put a lot into it. A lot of good food, a lot of good stuff going on over there. We watched a good game. It was the Monday Night Football game again. Monday Night Football against the Raiders at Mile High Stadium. Same damn thing as it was with me when I was 6 years old. And it was just, that just beats the hell out of that, though. I mean, it was just so fun. I met some really good people, and I think that's up there. If that's not my favorite moment, that's not my favorite experience as a Bronco fan. That's pretty close.
Hey, what's this show going to be about, Adrian?
Well, tonight we're going to be talking about, everybody's favorite subject. We're going to be talking about the Super Bowl loss against the Seahawks. We're going to be talking about the Mile High Horseman, how he got started. We're going to be talking about the schedule, what our win and loss predictions are. We're going to be talking about free agency, and we'll talk about a couple other things as we go along. But that's pretty much our what's on the agenda tonight.
All right, and how did we become the Mile High Horsemen?
Well, let's start off by a little bit of history. Let's go back about 19 months ago. Well, we were all video makers on YouTube, us Bronco fans. We belonged to a group called the Crazy Orange Crush Killers for the longest time, from like 2009, 2010, all the way up to till 2012. And I just wanted something new. I wanted something different. I wanted something to really spice things up. So I said, let's try something that really sound good. And I said, let's try Mile High Horseman. I think that would sound good. I think that people would like it. So it was only supposed to be on YouTube. It was never supposed to be what it is now. But fast forward, about a month after that, we had our first 100 members, and then we just got 100 more. We had 200 members, and then 200 turned into 1,000, and 1,000 turned into 2,000, and then 2,000 turned into 5,000, is what we have now. And, I never expected to get that many members. I think I can speak for Jared here, saying it has been the greatest 19 months of my life. It's been fun. It's been awesome being a co-leader with this guy. We're both really passionate about our Facebook group, and now doing this show, we're really excited around here, and it's something to do for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean it's been just a blessing. Anything after 2,000 members has been just a plus and a positive. I mean, so it's been great. I haven't. It's been just a great time to celebrate. Being Bronco fans together, and that's about it. Like it's just gotten bigger and better, and we just hope to expand it to bigger and better things. And this show, I hope, is the same. What we can do for to expand the Mile High Horseman brand, or however you want to say it. So, but we're gonna get to the Super Bowl loss. I know we're changing big topics here,
Yeah.
but what was your take on the Super Bowl loss, Adrian?
Oh, well, all I can say is, guys, getting into this Super Bowl loss, just like everybody else, I was completely stunned at what I saw that Super Bowl. I mean, going into this game, I mean, I knew that it was going to be close. I mean, I knew that we were probably not going to win this football game. But, I kept faith, because I know that Seattle's got a really good defense. I know Richard Sherman. I know they got good weapons on offense. But, I expected it to be a lot more closer than it was. But, just after that first safety at the beginning, I knew right then and there that this was going to be a long game. But I still kept hope. But, after they ran it all the way back at the beginning of the halftime, at the end of the halftime, at the beginning of the second half, I was like, that's it. This is over. And there was three emotions that went through my mind in that game.
What were those emotions?
Okay, one was disbelief. At the beginning, it's like, what the fuck's going on? Why would you get a safety at the beginning? Disbelief. That was one. Anger, because what the fuck is going on with this team? What the hell is going on? This is not the same team we saw. This is not the same team we saw breaking records. And then, last but not least, when it just started getting out of control.
Yeah.
It was comical. I actually felt like happy. I hate to say that, but it was so fucking bad. It was funny to me. It was actually making me laugh when Jermaine Kearse made a touchdown. I know that was during a certain part of the game, but I remember I was just laughing. It was hilarious to me. And then I pulled out the fucking tape from the VCR and I busted it on camera, and I got pissed. And then there was another anger part of there, but it was also comical at the same time. And I was laughing about it, but I was also pissed. So, yeah. I mean, that pretty much sums up what I thought of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was pretty much the same way. It's kind of funny how that works out like that. Some people might miss out on the third one, being laughing about it, but I was laughing about it myself. It was an abomination of a game. It was pretty much a piss poor performance, and it was probably it had to be the worst effort, at least for that year, from the Broncos. I know they were getting their butts whipped against the Colts, but that was the worst performance I've seen in years. I don't even know when's the last time we got our butts handed to us like that. Especially on the biggest and brightest stage, that were given 2 weeks to prepare for, and it didn't even seem like they were prepared. They must have not prepared enough, and they should have screwed the media day and some other Super Bowl preview antics, and should have practiced way more or trained harder, whatever was the case. I also, one kind of thing that I missed was the coin flip. The coin flip was a big part because I expected the Broncos to get the ball in the second half, and that didn't happen due to Joe Namath, and he was messing up with the coin toss, and then they had to redo it again. I remember that, and I thought that was really suspicious, but and that's not an excuse, but usually, like with high emotions with the Super Bowl, the first drive is like what sets it all off, how the game's going to be played and all that. And it just seemed like, and from my experience from seeing games, Usually that's a nerve-wracking experience, and usually that leads to like fumbles or turnovers and that sort of thing. And that's pretty much what happened, was a safety. So, and then like you said, it was just. I mean, after halftime, even at halftime, I thought the game was over. But then with the run back from that stupid punt that like hit the turf and then bounced up, and then he was able to grab it. I thought that was such. I was like, that's it. That's the nail in the coffin. And then I started drinking. I started celebrating with the Bronco fans, and I was actually the best part was we scored a touchdown in the game to make it what was it to make it a little closer, or like it wasn't a shutout at least, and which is pretty sad because it actually was really close to becoming a shutout game for us. So yeah, it was. We'll be able to remember this game for the rest of our lives, and unfortunately, this is my. For both of us, this was our first Super Bowl loss. So, and with this and the Ravens game, it proves that I'm still a Broncos fan, even with those two horrible losses under our belts now. So, back to you, Adrian.
Yeah, just final thoughts of that. It's
Yeah.
just like you said, man, and you couldn't have summed it up any better. I've never experienced a Super Bowl loss. I know my grandpa has. He was a Bronco fan for a long, long time, and he experienced some of those old Super Bowl losses from the '80s against the Giants, the Redskins, the Cowboys. He experienced some of those, and he remained a Bronco fan all his life until his last breath. And that's why I respect the hell out of him, and that's why he was one of the greatest Bronco fans I ever knew, probably one of the greatest Bronco fans to ever live. And now, just thinking back and looking back at this Super Bowl, to think that we can get our asses kicked that badly, and I'm still a Bronco fan, that'll never ever change. And that's just the way it is. And some people can make excuses, say, "Oh, the Broncos were paid to throw that game." No, that's bullshit. They didn't play their best game. Certainly didn't play their best game in the biggest game of their lives. So there's no excuses. Period. They lost. They lost badly, and they deserved to lose. That's
Hey,
all.
Champ Bailey. He was. I thought he was going to prepare better than that. It was a whole team effort. Champ Bailey was waiting for one Super Bowl to prove himself, and it just was a dud, and it was fizzled out. So,
And there's another reason why, we'll get to that in a little bit, but there's also a couple reasons why a couple things happened this offseason. But
yep.
final overall ratings of that Super Bowl. I know what you're going to give it, but let's get it.
It's a straight F. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I mean, it pretty much reminded me of the worst season that I've ever experienced, which was like 2011, where we went 4-12 with Josh McDaniels. It pretty much felt like that again. But yeah, that's my final rating.
My final rating, I'm going to give it an F minus 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 minus. Just like you said, dude. It just reminded me so much of the McDaniels days. Just complete garbage effort, complete disgusting effort, and they deserve to lose badly. They deserve to lose badly in front of worldwide television, and that's all there is to say about that.
Yeah, we did have injuries. I'm not going to say that's an excuse. We did not have Derek Wolfe. We did not have Kevin Vickerson and some others. So, but that does not have any. I mean, it's still 2 weeks of preparation. You are paid to play the game as good as you possibly can, and you guys looked like jokers out there. So now we get to rebuild for the next season, which we're going to talk about. The 2014 to 2015 schedule. What's your take on preseason? We're going to start with preseason.
Honestly, dude, in preseason, people like to say that it's too long. People say it should be longer. People say that maybe they should just shorten it by 2 weeks. The way I see it, 4 weeks is just fine. I don't care. It's a good way to see how it really gives you a chance to see your depth in your team. You get to see the future of your team, like Brock Osweiler, some new corners we pick up in the draft, some of the guys we picked up in the free agency. Um, and it really gives you a chance to see these new players and, like you said, the future of your team. So, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think 4 weeks is just fine. I mean, it gets too short. It's not going to work out. I don't think you don't want to extend it, but I mean, there's always some sort of starting quarterback that always gets injured in preseason. Then it becomes a supposed debate topic on ESPN. But I personally have no problem with 4 weeks being preseason. You got to get them into tip-top shape, and it works really well like that. So I have no problem with preseason whatsoever. And also, what's up with these people that think like we're playing the Seahawks in the preseason? So I think some of them think like
Oh, dude.
we can get any revenge back from our Super Bowl loss in preseason. What do you
Okay,
think?
let me say this right now. Whoever honestly thinks that getting quote unquote revenge against the Seahawks in the preseason is going to do anything at all, is going to redeem ourselves at the slightest, you're fucking stupid. All right? It's fucking preseason. Preseason doesn't mean a goddamn thing. I mean, if anything, not even the regular season game means anything. It would mean something if we were to beat them in the Super Bowl. But yeah, but it does mean something to beat them in the regular season, which we'll talk about a little later on in the show. But yeah, as for right now, I really don't give a shit about that game we have against them in the preseason. That's all I gotta say about that.
All right, so we're gonna go week by week here, and we're gonna get each other's opinion on which about the matchups. For week one, we're playing Indianapolis, the Colts. What's your take on that?
Oh, I like this game. This is a big game. Sunday Night Football, Mile High Stadium, first game of the year. Andrew Luck and the Colts. Big game. Like I said, last year when Peyton Manning went back to Indianapolis, I knew it. I knew going into that game that he was going to lose. I mean, I just knew it. I mean, I knew them showing the video tribute and them kissing his ass and saying, "Thank you, Peyton," and everything like that. I knew that was going to get to him, and I knew that we were going to lose that game. I just had a bad feeling about it the whole game, and then we ended up getting whooped. So, yeah, and then, the Broncos were struggling, weeks prior to that, too. So, and, there was also a lot more contributing factors to it, but Peyton Manning got hot under the collar, and he wasn't prepared for that game. He wasn't prepared to go against his old team in Lucas Oil Stadium. Now you fast forward a year at Mile High in our house. He's gotten used to it now. He knows he plays for the Broncos. He knows who his team is. So, again, Indianapolis will always have a special place in Peyton's heart. There's no doubt about that. But I think he realizes who his team is now, and I think he's going to be a lot more prepared for this game. So it should be a good game. But again, Andrew Luck and the Colts are a dangerous team. It should be a very good game. But we'll have to see what happens with this one. This one's going to probably be a toss-up, but I'll say the Broncos probably will win this game.
Yeah, with the Colts, I'm very impressed with Andrew Luck. He's exactly who the Colts should have picked. The first pick in the draft. It was kind of a bonehead. It's kind of common sense. They would, someone would pick him number one overall. This game should be really, really good. Should be a nice opener to the season. I think the Broncos could win should win this one. But you never know with the Colts and Andrew Luck because he makes things happen. He'll do a QB sneak into the end zone if it's possible, and they got weapons. Reggie Wayne should be back this season too, and he had an injury last year, so I think the Colts are wanting to be 1-0, and we're going to want to be 1-0. So it's going to be who wants it more, and I'm hoping the Broncos want it more, especially after that Super Bowl loss. And so week 2 we're going to be playing in Denver against Kansas City Chiefs. What's your take on this matchup?
Well, I'm going to tell you what. The Chiefs, they've been getting better. There's no doubt about that. Alex Smith, I'm still not sold on him yet. I mean, he was okay with the 49ers, and he had a pretty okay year last year with the Chiefs. The Chiefs had a pretty decent year last year. But the thing is that when we went against them last year, their fans were talking so much shit. They came out of the woodwork. They were going to win the AFC West. They were going to do this and that. And we end up sweeping them. So I think we kind of exposed them. We kind of exposed them with Andy Reid as their coach. I mean, they've gotten. Let me say this about Andy Reid. He's a pretty decent coach, but obviously he couldn't make it in fucking Philadelphia. So that's probably the reason why they fired him. But he did turn the team around in Kansas City a little bit. But I still don't. I'm not so sure that they're still a legit threat in this AFC West division. Maybe they might be this year, but I don't know. I do expect the Broncos to win this game, especially at home at Mile High. What are your take?
I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, like you said, Andy Reid's a really good coach. Alex Smith's a little bit above average. I think he's way better than Brady Quinn was a year or so ago. Brady Quinn was absolutely dog crap, but Jamal Charles is like their MVP pretty much. He should have won MVP against Adrian Peterson. If it wasn't for, not Adrian Peterson, Peyton Manning, of course. And but I mean, he was like a one-man show. I think he got like 4 touchdowns or 5 touchdowns in one game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He can catch the ball. He can run it really well. I mean, he's a dual threat, and I mean, a lot of players need to try to be like him, and they have a problem with catching the ball. There's a lot of drop balls besides Jamal Charles from their wide receivers, and I think they need to step it up a big time if they think they can do anything against the Broncos. So they got to get a better wide receiving core, and I thought Tony Gonzalez, they were saying he was wanting to come to Kansas City, which was it was a good idea, but he didn't do it. He stayed with the Falcons. But I think they should have picked him up. But they need a better wide receiving core to even compete with the Broncos. And actually, last year's playoff game, they were up like 28-0, or they were up by 28 points or something, and then they ended up having the Colts ended up coming back and beating them to advance to the next round. So that pretty much summed up their team in general, that they revolve around Jamal Charles, because he was injured in that game, because as soon as he got injured, their team fell apart. So, but anyways, I think the Broncos will be able to beat the Chiefs this week. And so and then the third week is against the Seahawks, in Seattle. What's your take on this, Adrian?
Let me say this, guys. This is probably the most anticipated game for any Bronco fan, because obviously we all know what happened last year in the Super Bowl. The Broncos, as we talked about earlier, got completely whooped by the Seahawks in the fucking Super Bowl. So this is a redemption game for a lot of people. But to me, it's just another game. Honestly, to me, it's just another game, because it's just to beat the Seahawks in their own stadium would be nice. Look, let me start this over again. Now let me say this about the Seahawks and the Broncos game. This right here is probably the most anticipated game for obvious reasons for all Bronco fans everywhere. Now, Seattle still has a damn good defense. Russell Wilson is still a damn good quarterback. Richard Sherman is still a damn good cornerback. They got a damn good defense. They got some threats on offense. So this is definitely not going to be an easy game. This is definitely not, especially over there in Seattle, where Century League Field, probably one of the loudest places in the NFL to visit. One of the toughest places to play. So this is definitely not going to be an easy game, but it's damn going to be interesting. It's damn well going to be interesting, because obviously the 2 Super Bowl opponents going back-to-back again. That's going to be interesting. But I do expect the Broncos probably. This is a toss-up, but I will say that the Broncos could pull this off, but they're going to have to play their best game. And we can't see another performance like we did in the Super Bowl. What's your take on it?
Yeah, the Seahawks. It would be great to win in their home, because that's about as close as we're going to get until if we ever meet again in the Super Bowl, another Super Bowl. So yeah, if we could get a win out of this, I'd be happy for a good start of the season if it was possible. They got Percy Harvin. They kept a lot of their players. I mean, some win, of course, just like every Super Bowl team. They always lose their some players, but they were able to keep a good amount of their players. So, I mean, Russell Wilson, he's a good guy, man. He knows how to play the QB position for sure, and he likes to go out of the pocket and likes to throw it while he's outside the pocket, and he knows he can burn anybody with that. So, and he has a good the wide receiving core is decent enough to burn the corners. So it's going to be a tough game. If they can play their best, they could squeak this one out. But if they play anything average or like our piss poor performance in the Super Bowl, they will lose. So, and then next week we have, and the week after that we have the bye week. What's your take on the bye week being this early?
I hate it. I don't like bye weeks being this fucking early, especially 4 weeks into the season. I don't like it. I liked it how it was last year when it was week 8. I mean, the way I see it, the bye week should always be right in the middle of the season because you got the first half of the season, the first 8 games. That's great. Then week 9 you have the bye week. Then the rest of the games. That's the way I think it should be. But it is what it is. It's the earliest I've ever seen it. I'm probably thinking back about maybe 10 years ago. Maybe it was this early, but I haven't seen it this early in a long, long time. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, my take on it is, it's way too early. Like about as early as you can pretty much have it. I mean, you can't tell me that. Oh yeah, they're needing this bye week in week 4 to get rested up and to get through the season. No, it's not like that. It's at a horrible time. It's at a very unopportune time. It should be, like he said, at least in the half of the season or later. I don't care if it's week 13 or 15 or whatever. That's fine, but this early is not a good sign. I don't like that at all. So we'll see how that turns out and how that pans out. So, and then after that week 5, we'll be taking on the Arizona Cardinals in Denver. What do you think about this matchup?
I don't really know about this game. I mean, the Cardinals have been getting a little bit better over the past couple of years. Their defense has been getting better over the past couple of years, but they're still not a threat for the NFC West because you got the 49ers and the Seahawks in that division. So I mean, I don't really expect to see them do a whole lot this year. Probably finish second at best in the NFC West. In this game, they got some pretty good defense. I mean, they got some pretty good weapons on offense. I mean, they got what's his name? They got Larry Fitzgerald. He's a damn good receiver. But I just don't see them beating the Broncos at home. I just don't see it happening. But there's always that possibility because NFC teams seem to sometimes have the edge over AFC teams. But we'll have to see what turns out in this game. But what do you think?
Arizona. I lived in Arizona for a little while. Up until around now, they have been really like messed up, and they're finally kind of getting into like a decent groove or whatever. But they're still behind, the 49ers and Seahawks, like we all know. I think they, you never know. They could probably pull out a win if things go their way. But I think the odds are in the Broncos' favor. Larry Fitzgerald, he's finally, he's overly paid, got like 120 million for his contract or whatever. I don't think no wide receiver is really worth that. Maybe Calvin Johnson. Different subject for about overpaid players, but I don't see the Arizona Cardinals coming into Denver and winning against us. So week 6, we're taking on the New York Jets in New York at MetLife Stadium. What's your opinion on the game?
Well, this is another anticipated game because, as we all know, Eric Decker left us for the Jets because he wanted money. And all I'm going to say is I wonder how many drop balls Eric Decker's going to have in this game. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I don't really expect the Broncos to lose this game. I mean, even with their addition of Eric Decker to their wide receiver core, I just don't see him burning our new corners in this game. But that's another topic for another time. But I just don't see him beating the Broncos in this game.
Yep, the Jets, they've been a joke for quite a few years now. I don't know if that began. Well, yeah, it was probably before even Tim Tebow when he showed up to the Jets. But yeah, it's this game. I think the Broncos should be able to win this game against the Jets. Shouldn't be a problem. Even with the addition of Eric Decker, I actually like Geno Smith a little bit. I was kind of rooting for him last year because I don't know. I kind of like how he plays the game a little bit. I think he got lucky a few times, and let's just hope he doesn't get lucky against us this week. Against the Broncos, but I don't know. I don't think he's going to do too well. There are signs that he is not that good of a quarterback too. So let's just hope we get a win out of this. So and then next week, the week after that, we go against the San Francisco 49ers in Denver. What's your take on this game, Adrian?
Well, this is another interesting game, big game, and it all depends. It all depends if Colin Kaepernick is even going to be playing, because apparently he likes to keep it. He can't keep his dick in his pants. He likes to rape women. So, yeah, I mean, if Colin Kaepernick's playing, then that's going to definitely be. It's definitely going to add a lot more. It's definitely going to be a lot more interesting if Colin Kaepernick is playing. But if he's not, then I don't expect them to really do anything, because they do have a pretty good defense. That's for sure. Vernon Davis is a damn good. Excuse me. Can't talk right now. Damn. Okay, you gotta start that over, dude.
Okay.
Start that over.
All right. Okay. So we're going to be taking on the 49ers in Week 7. Adrian, what's your opinion on this matchup?
Well, it all depends. It all really depends on whether Colin Kaepernick is playing or not. Because if Colin Kaepernick's playing, then this is going to be an interesting game, because he's a pretty good quarterback. But since he doesn't like to keep his dick in his pants and he likes to rape women, and he's most likely going to probably be suspended for a few games because of that, that should really all depend on whether he's going to be playing or not. Because if he's playing, then this should be an interesting game, because he's a pretty good quarterback. He's very mobile. He likes to jump out of the pocket a lot. He's I mean, remember like a couple years ago, he would never stay in the pocket. He'd always be running. He was like another Tim Tebow. He'd like always be a scrambling quarterback, which is never going to be successful for you. I mean, but still, he can still throw the ball pretty good. And Vernon Davis is a pretty good tight end. So yeah, I mean, they got some pretty good weapons on offense, and obviously their defense is pretty good, because they obviously didn't make it to the NFC Championship for nothing. They lost, but they still made it to the NFC Championship. So I mean, yeah, this should be a pretty interesting game. Sunday night football game. I'll look forward to this game, but I expect the Broncos to win this game though, because with our offensive core, and with the defense getting getting stacked now. We'll talk about that later on. But with the defense getting better now, I just can't see the Broncos losing this game. But what's your take on it?
I think it's a really good matchup. I could see the 49ers beating the Broncos if they play their cards right. I think it's the best matchup in Denver this year, besides the Colts game. They got Vernon Davis. They got some wide receivers that can take us down quite well. Frank Gore at running back. So I think it's going to be a good matchup, and I think anyone can win this game this week. So, and then after that, we'll be taking on the San Diego Chargers in Denver as well. And Week 8, what's your take on this game, Adrian?
Oh boy, all I'm going to hear during this whole week, doesn't matter what's going to happen, all I'm going to hear is Phillip Rivers this, Phillip Rivers that. Who the fuck else? Eddie Royal this, Eddie Royal that. Let me tell you this. Every single fucking year, Charger fans, that's the only thing that ever comes out their mouth is Phillip Rivers, what he's going to do, he's going to light us up. There's a little news flash to Chargers fans. y'all don't have LaDainian Tomlinson anymore. He's gone. He hasn't been with you in forever. That was the last time you guys were legit. You guys won like the division, was it like 2, 3 years in a row when you guys had him? And since then, what the fuck have you done since then? Absolutely nothing. So I don't expect the Broncos to lose this game. Yes, the Chargers have been getting tougher over the past couple of years. We saw it last year when they made it to the playoffs, when they saw us in the playoffs. But what happened? We beat them. We beat them at our house. And again, this is a Thursday night football game, and in our house at Mile High Stadium, I just don't see the Broncos losing this game. Even with Mike McCoy, the jackass, as their fucking head coach, I don't see the Broncos losing this game.
Yeah, speaking of which, yeah, Mike McCoy. I've mentioned this in my videos. I always think it was fishy that he left as soon as the Ravens beat us in the overtime loss a few years ago, and just hopped on the jet plane over to the San Diego Chargers. And it was a very, very sweet victory, beating them in the playoffs and kicking their ass, and get him kicked out of the playoffs. So that was nothing sweeter than that last year. I got to admit that. And we pretty much, I mean, the Broncos said that that pretty much meant they were the last ones in the AFC West, and that meant they were the legitimate AFC West champions. San Diego, I know there's Phillip Rivers. He had a good year last year. And like he said, Eddie Royal, who came from the Broncos, which I was upset when he left the Broncos, as well as Brandon Lloyd. But I sucked it up. I lived with it. That he is their weapon. Antonio Gates as well. He's a good tight end, definitely. But I mean, like last year, they beat us in regular season, and they have like a chance of doing that this season, like always, just like any other team, any given Sunday. But after LT and Sproles left their team, it took a big chunk of their like offensive power away from them, and I don't see them going again this far. It's going to be between the Chiefs and the Broncos, I think, this year for the AFC West. I know it might be too soon to predict, but that's how I'm feeling right now. So, anyways, this game, I think the Broncos should be able to win this game against the Chargers. And then next is the New England Patriots, Week 9, at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. What's your take on it, Adrian?
Another highly anticipated game. As you all know, what happened last year again, up 24-0 by halftime, thinking we had it won. We're all overconfident. We're celebrating and this and that. And then the Patriots come back and beat us late. And it was an embarrassment. And, we have so much bad luck at Gillette Stadium. We can never beat the Patriots at Gillette Stadium. It would be nice. Nothing sweeter to finally, for the first time in how long now, to beat the Patriots at Gillette Stadium would be beautiful. But, as always, Tom Brady, I don't care what you think of him. You can say he's a crybaby, you can say he's whatever, but he's still a damn good quarterback, and it is definitely not going to be an easy game. And what's your take on it, man?
Yeah, like last year, everything was going perfectly. Let's just say that the wind played a huge factor. It was a huge factor. We had to run the ball a lot. There was a lot of turnovers that game. Patriots gave up the ball quite a bit of times the first half, but then we ended up giving about the same amount of turnovers the second half, and they were able to eke out a win against us. Foxborough, it's a curse. I absolutely hate that place. It never works well for the Broncos being there. That's why it was a big deal for the Broncos to play their AFC Championship game against us, against us in Denver. So it was a great win to beat them in the AFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl. This game, I think it's going to be one hell of a game, just like the Seahawks game. we're gonna need a lot of effort from everybody to win this game. It's not gonna come easy, and they're gonna have Gronkowski back, which I'm surprised he's gonna be coming back. He's like probably on his third big injury so far in his career. He's taken some major punishment, which I don't mind. I absolutely, I don't mind Gronkowski as a person, but he's with the Patriots, so he's the enemy. Sorry, but I think the Broncos, they can win this game if they do it right. But I don't even know how long it's been since we've won there. It's been a decade, or I don't even know.
It's been quite a while, man. And I'm gonna say, I hate to say this, but I think that unfortunately, I think the curse of Foxborough will continue. I hope not, but I just got a bad feeling about going over there, and I think this is a game that the Broncos could possibly lose. But I'm always hoping that they will, but they will win. But I just have a bad feeling.
I think the curse is alive and will kick on for a very long time. I never know. The only thing to break the curse is have a playoff game in New England, and then we win in New England. I think that would break the curse.
Yeah.
But then that's the truth. So, but week 10 we have the Oakland Raiders in Oakland. What's your take on this matchup against the Raiders?
Well, let me say this. Everybody's been talking about the Raiders this offseason, and because they've had so much money to spend in their salary cap. What exactly have they done this offseason in the free agency? Absolutely nothing. This is the thing with the Raiders. Every single fucking year, they have horrible fucking ownership. They can never sign anybody good. They can never draft anybody good. They can't trade for anybody any good. They just can't. Are not built. Their ownership is not built on being successful. That is why they haven't been to the playoffs in over a decade. That is why they haven't won a Super Bowl in over 20 years. So, and I think that trend is going to continue this year. I think, once again, they're going to be at the bottom of the AFC West. We just might, I'm not guaranteeing it, but we just might sweep them, but we will definitely win this game.
And for my take on it is the Raiders, they're going to continue to sink just like he said. I don't see them going anytime soon up the AFC West rankings in the division. You'd be lucky to hear that, you'd be lucky to see them go like to third place in the division, going over like the San Diego Chargers or Kansas City, if not. But Oakland, you guys are going to stay sucking for a very long time, it seems like. It seems like it'll just keep going and going and going. You guys got rid of Terrell Pryor, who I thought was about the only thing that was doing, that was well on your guys' team, but you got rid of him for Matt Schaub now, who to me he's okay. He's not going to, I don't know, he had a horrible year, and now he's with you guys, which I guess horrible players go to a horrible team, so it fits well. So if they do badly, they just send them to Oakland or maybe even Cleveland, which I want to recommend you guys go to Draft Day, the movie with Kevin Costner. It's probably the highlight of the Cleveland Browns' fan base, going to that movie. And anyways, back to the game. I think it's just gonna be a slaughter, easy sweep. I think of the Oakland Raiders this year. I don't see them winning one game against us. So that's my take on that one. Next is Week 11 against the Rams in St. Louis. Adrian, what's your take on it?
Well, let me first start off by saying this. The Rams, they have, again, another team with horrible fucking ownership. They can't decide where they want to build their stadium, where they want to relocate their stadium, whether they want to move to LA, whether they want to stay in St. Louis. I mean, and if they can't figure that out, how the fuck are they going to figure out how to win football games or be competitive within their division? I mean, honestly, let's honestly think about that for a second. Okay? Now, who exactly do they have on their team? Sam Bradford? He ain't worth a shit. Sam Bradford ain't worth a shit. He ain't that good of a quarterback. They really don't have jack shit on offense. They even slightly threat on defense. I do not expect this to even be a challenge for the Broncos in this game. But who knows, guys? This might be a trap game, guys. This might be a trap game. Get the fuck out of here. This is going to be an easy win. What's your take on it?
One of my family members, one of her friends is a St. Louis Rams fan, and I think he's suffered enough through the past few years. I mean, they're not the team. They're not like Kurt Warner and The Greatest Show on Turf with Torrey Holt. They're far from it now. Their best days and best years are away from them now. They got rid of Steven Jackson, who was their workhorse for like 5-10 years, whatever amount of years it was. He did all the work for you guys. And then Sam Bradford, he was good like years ago, maybe when he was a rookie, but now he's away from that rookie in sophomore year, but you paid, I think, him like 40 to 50 million or something like that, and you're stuck with him now. And unfortunately, I mean, he's okay at quarterback. He's not going to push you into the playoffs, unfortunately. And that's the sad truth about it. But so the Broncos should be able to beat the Rams at home or at their home in St. Louis, and that's my take on that. Next is the Miami Dolphins and going to Denver at Sports Authority Field. Adrian, what's your take and opinion on this game?
Well, this is another interesting game because Nosha Moreno went to the Dolphins. But other than that, I don't really see any offensive threat they really have, honestly. Other than Nosha Moreno, I mean, they really don't have shit on offense. They really don't have that good of a quarterback. They really don't have that much of a wide receiver core. Their defense isn't that good. Like I said, I only see one threat on their whole entire team, and that's Nosha Moreno. And that one player does not make a whole entire team. So I don't expect the Broncos to lose this game at all. But because like I said, but what do you think?
Nosha Moreno, yeah, he's probably the best running back they've had since Ricky Williams around 2003 until he screwed up his image smoking weed and got kicked out of the league or whatever. He had problems with the league with his troubles. So, but yeah, I think I don't know if isn't it Jake Locker? Is he the quarterback or is for the Miami Dolphins? I forget. I don't even know. They're that relevant that I don't even know the quarterback for their team. Yeah. Oh, I guess they have Mike Wallace. He would be a legitimate threat, possibly. But yeah, Moreno. I think the Dolphins are always under the New England Patriots, but at least they're a little bit higher than the Buffalo Bills. Their Buffalo Bills are always usually at the bottom nowadays. But the Broncos, they shouldn't have even a problem against the Dolphins if they play a decent enough game. They shouldn't have much of a problem getting past them. The next week, Broncos go to Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium in Week 13. Adrian, what's your take and opinion on this game?
Well, like I've said before, guys, and I'll say it again, it's not necessarily the team I'm afraid of. It's that fucking stadium. I do not like the Broncos going to Arrowhead Stadium. That's a very, very, very tough place to play. Matter of fact, Arrowhead Stadium set the record for the loudest stadium in the world last year. Like it was 137 decibels or some shit. That's insanely fucking loud. So that is definitely going to be a factor. And then, like I said, the Chiefs have been getting a little bit better over the past couple of years. And then, with that 12th man on their side, that's definitely going to add to it. So, this. I still expect the Broncos to win this game, but it's definitely going to be a lot tougher. But what's your take on it?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I was in Arrowhead Stadium a few years ago. It's louder than crap. Seattle and Kansas City were going against each other for like who's the loudest in the in the NFL or whatever. Arrowhead is louder than crap. I've been there. I was really impressed with how loud that place gets. I really am impressed with their stadium myself. If there's a place that the Kansas City Chiefs can win, it's at Arrowhead Stadium against the Broncos possibly. So the Broncos are going to have to play their best game at Arrowhead, because it's not no easy game. It's not something it's not going to come easy. So, any given Sunday, the Chiefs can win at their stadium. So, that's my take on that game. The next week is against the Buffalo Bills in Week 14 in Denver. Adrian, your opinion on this game against the Bills?
The Broncos win. End of the story. That's my take. You?
Okay. Broncos blow out the Buffalo Bills. They're not even worth my breath. EJ Manuel is not good at all, like underneath Geno Smith. Okay, next game, Week 15 against San Diego in San Diego. What's your take, Adrian?
Well, I mean, I'm not too sure about this one. I mean, this is one we could possibly lose. But, again, like I said, though, I mean, without LT, without the team they had in 2009, 2010, I just don't see him beating us. But, it could be a trap game. That's that. Now, this legit, I'm talking legit, guys. I'm not bullshitting this time. This could be the trap game that we have for the 2014 season. But we'll have to see what happens. But I do expect the Broncos to win this game, but anything could happen. But what's your take on it?
The Chargers, they seem to they seem to win enough games to where their fans are okay with it. I think the Chargers could win this game in San Diego just to please the fans. Give the fans a little smile, and get them all like pumped up, like they think they're gonna go far in the playoffs.
And maybe they might sell out this game. Maybe.
Yeah. Actually, you were saying about their they have a horrible attendance rating. I know when I was looking at like a football game last year, I didn't see much of an attendance and an audience in Qualcomm Stadium. I was not impressed with how many people were in that stadium. There wasn't many when they were actually like losing. But when they showed up, when they actually started, like they got into the playoffs with a miracle, and they showed up then. But when they were losing, there was not many to be seen in their stadium. But yep, that's my take on it. Denver could pull it off. They should pull it off, but who knows? The San Diego Chargers might be able to win against them. Adrian, your opinion?
Like I said, maybe they honestly, this is mostly, like I said, could be a trap game, but I think this game is mostly whether they're going to sell this game out or not, and whether they're going to have a local blackout in San Diego or not. That's what I'm really curious about. But yeah, I do expect the Broncos to win this game, though. But we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I do expect the Broncos to win.
Week 16 is against Cincinnati Bengals at Paul Brown Stadium. What's your take on this game, Adrian?
I mean, this one's interesting because the Bengals have been getting better over the past few years. I mean, they really have. I mean, they've been starting to become a legit threat in the AFC North. And they seem to win a lot in the jungle. So I do expect this to be a somewhat competitive game, but I'm going to steal a line from Christina here. Andy Dalton can overthrow a government. And that is the God's honest truth. I mean, A.J. Green's a good receiver, but the thing is that if Andy Dalton's going to be overthrowing him, what's the whole point of him even being there? So, I mean, honestly, this is going to be an interesting game, but I really don't expect the Broncos to lose this game. But again, like I said, it's kind of an iffy one, but I do expect the Broncos to win this game. But what do you think about it?
I think being in Cincinnati, I think it's possible that they could win. But like you said, it's Andy Dalton. Are we going to get a good Andy Dalton this week? Or, hopefully we get a crappy, piss-poor Andy Dalton, the one that has, maybe one touchdown and 3 interceptions per game, Andy Dalton. Hopefully we have that one. They should have beat the San Diego Chargers. I thought the Cincinnati Bengals were good enough to beat the San Diego Chargers. But it didn't happen, and then the San Diego Chargers had to come to Denver, which I'm glad I guess it worked out for us. We ended up beating them, but I was actually disappointed in the Cincinnati Bengals for not making it to the next round to play the Denver Broncos, because I was looking forward to that matchup. But AJ Green, yep, he's a great, he's a really good weapon. So and Andy Dalton, it just depends what week he, how well he's playing. So week 17 to end the season is with Oakland and Denver. Adrian, what's your take on this last matchup of the season?
It all depends on what the record is for the Broncos. It really does. If we're doing great, if we've already clinched the division, if we've already clinched our first round bye and everything like that, then all the starters are going to be resting, and I would expect the Broncos to lose this game because it's pretty much going to be like an exhibition game. But if it's competitive, like I said, it all depends on what's going on with the standings. It all depends on what's going on with the wild cards and all that shit, and for home field advantage and all that. It all really depends on if everything's locked, then we don't have to worry about it. It doesn't even matter to me. The Broncos could win or lose this game. I wouldn't really care, but I'd like to see them win at home, obviously. But it wouldn't really matter to me that much. But if it's competitive, then expect to see a really good game. But I wouldn't expect the Broncos to lose this game either way, but we'll have to see what happens. What's your take?
Maybe it's going to be like last season where Brock Osweiler comes in and during the second half because it's such a blowout, and hopefully that's the case. But yeah, it could turn out to be like that. Hopefully, maybe we're doing so well to where Brock Osweiler, can come in or start that game maybe and see if he can actually take on the Oakland Raiders. Last time he didn't get many points or whatever, but even after Peyton Manning got like 30 in the half or whatever, first half, and the game was pretty much over. But the Denver Broncos, they should be, of course they should win this game. It would be a big blow to the fan base if we ended up losing against the Oakland Raiders at our home turf, because that reminds me of the 54 to 14 game that was years and years ago, because that was horrible, and I don't ever want to. I still remember it to this day, and maybe that was the worst performance in the Super Bowl that we've had since that game against the Raiders, because that was one of the worst games I've ever seen, right there with the Super Bowl. So hopefully the Raiders choke and we can send them off on a horrible note to end their season. So, and that is all the whole schedule of the Broncos for this season. Now we're going to be talking about free agency. The players that are going or that have gone away from us. Adrian, I'm going to get your opinion on these players. Let's just name some off. Zane Beadles. What's your take on him leaving for the Denver Broncos?
I mean, I would have probably liked to have kept him, but it's not that big a loss to our O-line. I mean, with Orlando Franklin coming back this year, hopefully, and he'll hopefully stay healthy, I don't really see that. I mean, like I said, I would have liked to keep him, but it's kind of 50-50 with me. What do you think?
I agree with you the same way. I think he did a good part for our team, taking over for some of the other players, and he was I'll miss him for sure. He went to Jacksonville, I believe, and then next is Robert Ayers. What's your take on him leaving?
I'm not real sure how I feel about this one, man. I mean, how do you feel about it?
I actually, I cheered for him when he was on our team. I think he did a decent job. There was times where he went flat for us. Let me mention one person that I didn't mention before. I think not Chris Harris, Tony Carter. He should be out of here, and he hasn't left yet. Why the hell is he still here? I rooted for him 2 years ago. I thought he was good with Chris Harris, but he was horrible last year and gave up huge penalties when we needed to not have any penalties. And one was actually in the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, and he messed up really bad last year. He had a really bad performance. But back to Robert Ayers, I think he was all right. I think he was okay. So it's iffy. It's so that since he left, I think we'll get past it.
How about this one? What do you think about Wesley Woodyard leaving?
Yeah, Wesley Woodyard. I thought he was a really good linebacker. He was our captain for our defense, and then it went over to Danny Trevathan, which he's the guy for the job. But I liked Woodyard. I will miss him. He kind of didn't do so well in the playoffs, but regular season we definitely missed him when I think he was out for a little while. Is that right?
I think
Because I
so. I'm
think
not
I
sure.
think he was out, and then we had some problem we had some problems without him. So, what's your take, Adrian, on this?
Oh, like I said, man, that's kind of a big blow to our front seven. I really did like Wesley Woodyard. I wish they could have kept him. I wish they could have come up with some kind of deal, but that did, letting him go, that did free up some space in the cap. Which is always great. Well, especially when you talk about free agency. But I just wish they would have come up with a deal. Then we have No Moreno, like we talked about earlier, going to the Dolphins. What do you think?
Yeah, he was a hungry player. He actually wanted to play, and he like I said, he with the smallest strand of hair, he held on for his dear life, his position and his job, and he proved himself and made it with one last chance. And I will miss him. I think we should have kept him a year or two longer at least. See how he panned out. I don't think it's time for Monte Ball to be the starter yet. I think Nosha Moreno has proved himself as a veteran now, that he can still play among the best. He just got his first 1,000-yard running game this year. So yeah, it's a blow to me, and Miami Dolphin fans are happy that they picked him up. So they're appreciative of us for giving him to them. So I think it's a loss for us. But if they're happy, that I guess we did them a service and got rid of him, even though I wish he would have stayed. What's your take, Adrian, on Moreno leaving?
Oh, I was bummed when I first heard about it. I was like, oh man, and had so much high hopes for this guy when way, way, way back when Willis McGahee first took over at running back when Moreno was really struggling, and then when McGahee got hurt, Moreno really had to step up, and he stepped up big time. He proved himself, like you said. He had himself a hell of a year, that 2012 year, and you know I was impressed. I was sold on him. I was even thinking about buying his jersey, and I was like, I was really impressed with No Moreno, and like I said, that kind of sucked. That didn't kind of suck. It really sucked that we lost him. And like I said, it is what it is. Just next man up, Monte Ball. He's going to be the starting running back. Maybe we'll have to see what happens in the preseason. But yeah, but it is definitely a blow. I call that a D minus. It's a big loss to the offense. But then we have Champ Bailey leaving the Broncos, and I know you have some opinions about this one.
Yeah. The Champ Bailey, he was great. Whatever was it, 14 seasons? The last two seasons, he's been around for 15, 16 years. The last two seasons, he just hasn't been himself, like we all know and love, and he changed, unfortunately, for the worst. And you could see it during the Super Bowl. He got blown away by Percy Harvin and whoever else on their team. The whole team was horrible, so it wasn't just him. But he was, Champ Bailey didn't play his best when needed, and he was gone actually for like the first 10 weeks due to injury. Remember, he kept on. I thought he would start a few games earlier, but he kept on staying on the sideline, and I don't know if he collected any money from that, but I mean, it just sucks seeing him on the sideline and wasn't playing like we wanted him to, and it seemed like it seemed like he was better, and but he didn't play that well when we wanted him to, and he got the boot because it was going to be too much for us. I think it was like supposed to be $9 million this next year for him, and to me he's not worth the investment. I'd get a young player in for Champ Bailey. He did his part. He'll be in the Ring of Fame and the Hall of Fame most likely someday, but And thanks for all the great memories. My favorite memory was when you went against the New England Patriots, and he got the interception and took it all the way back in the playoffs, and ran it back. And I remember he got pushed really hard at the end in the end zone, but he still hung on. But I'm a big fan of you, Champ Bailey. You just kind of lost your mojo when this season and last season. So, what's your take on it, Adrian?
Well, like I said, I'm always going to appreciate Champ Bailey. I'm always going to appreciate what he did for this organization. But when it all comes down to it, it's a business. It is a business. They needed to free up some of that cap space. I mean, yes, he could have, took a pay cut, moved to safety, whatever. It didn't matter. I think it was just time to let him go. I mean, honestly, like I said, I was bummed about it, but I can see why it had to be done. So, I mean, I'm like I said, I'll always appreciate what he did. I'm not necessarily happy about it, but I understand why it was done. So I'm not really understanding why some people are so upset about it and so pissed about it, because it just had to be done. It had to be done because, just like you said, the past few years he just hasn't. The past like 2 years he hasn't played like Champ Bailey, the Champ Bailey we know. So yeah, I mean, it had to be done. It had to be done.
Give me any player that can win us a championship. I don't care what the hell their name is. That's fine with me. Just get the players. They might not be they might be no namers, ones I don't know anything about, but get those guys that know how to play the game right. I don't care if I don't know them or anything. So we're bringing in some new blood. So Eric Decker, he's one of the Broncos that ended up leaving. What's your take on Eric Decker leaving for the Jets?
I'm not that upset about it. I mean, everybody expected it. I mean, we all knew, because his contract was up this year, and we all knew he was going. We all knew he was going to stay. We all knew he was going to want more money, and I'm not really that upset about it because, number one, I think he was slightly overrated, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, you cannot compare Eric Decker to Julius Thomas. You cannot compare Eric Decker to Demaryius Thomas. He's not even nowhere in that league. As a matter of fact, last year when we were at the game, when we were watching the Bronco game at Mile High Stadium against the Raiders, there was a ball he could have easily caught, and he just dropped it. So, I mean, that was definitely a big trend with Eric Decker, that he used to trip over himself a lot, and he used to drop a lot of balls. So, I mean, like I said, he was a good receiver, but he wasn't that damn good, and I don't really think he should be wearing that number 87. I don't think he's really privileged enough to wear that number 87. But, yeah, overall, don't really care.
Yeah, okay, so my take on Eric Decker, I liked him. Don't get me wrong. He's a good number 2 wide receiver. He shouldn't be paid number 1 wide receiver money. I think the Jets paid number 1 wide receiver money, if I'm not mistaken, for him. I think they're desperate. So they just wanted to get someone like him available. I liked Eric Decker when he was with us. He did trip on his feet. He did some weird stuff after the catch. He trip over his feet and stumble and fall over himself, and there's a lot of jokes over that. But Eric Decker, I mean, I'm not gonna miss him. He wanted the money. I think his girlfriend, which you can see on E Entertainment, his show. You can watch his show, and I think she wanted to go to New York personally. I think where she, I don't know if she was too big for Denver or something. I actually didn't mind the girl. I watched a little of the show, and she's okay, I guess. I don't really care, but their life is in New York City now, and hopefully they do all right together and have a fantastic relationship with one another. But anyways, I'm digressing. He's out of here. It's okay. I don't mind it. So, and I know there's a lot of girls that are like upset with Champ Bailey and Eric Decker leaving because they have a big crush over him. But you'll survive. I'm sure there's some better replacements. There'll be some replacements out there for like Chisel Labs and all that stuff. But anyways, do we have anyone else that we're missing that left the Broncos that we might have forgotten?
Doc, DRC.
Oh yeah, DRC of course. Yep, and Trendon Holiday as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on DRC? leaving.
That's a big blow. Honestly, he was a damn good corner. I loved seeing him with the Broncos. I hated losing him, but hey, next man up. That's all I can say. But it definitely does suck losing him. I didn't like to lose him. I mean, he was a pretty good corner. But as for Trendon Holiday, I'm not really that upset about it. I mean, if it was the Trendon Holiday we had seen in 2012, I would have been a lot more pissed because Trendon Holiday in 2012 was fucking insane. But the 2013 Trendon Holiday wasn't really all that impressive, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yes. My take on DRC leaving and Trendon Holiday. DRC, I enjoyed him quite a bit. I thought he was pretty darn good. I was cheering for him last year. He did a pretty good job. It sucks for him to leave. It does suck. And then now Trendon Holiday too. Trendon Holiday, I like he said, I loved him like a few years ago. But he got plastered the past year or two. He got just nailed. Like, I know he's super short and super fast, but with that speed, he got drilled. Like, some of those hits he took was pretty bad, and he was fumbling it quite a bit too the last season as well. And I have no, if Trent Holiday's best days with I think might be over, but who knows? So he's been with the Houston Texans, then he went over to us, and now he's with the Giants. So see you guys later. DRC and Trendon Holiday. That's about it for those free agents. Now the ones that came into the Denver Broncos organization. What's your take on any of the new free agents that came in? Like, is it T.J. Ward?
I want to know what you think about T.J. Ward. I'm really curious what you think of T.J. Ward.
T.J. Ward, I really, he was with the Browns. It sounds like, from the videos I've seen that he's a playmaker. He's a Pro Bowler. It seems like he makes some really great plays. So I'm down for him coming to the Denver Broncos. We need a defense. We've said that we said that last year. I think we need a special teams defense too. Personally, defense is the key. I think we got the guys to have a decent defense next year, because we were lacking really really bad last year on defense. So yeah, T.J. Ward, I'm down for that. For him coming to the Broncos, definitely. What's your take on
I like it.
T.J. Ward?
I like it. I think that he's going to add a lot to our defense. All I can say is we'll have to see what happens, but it's definitely looking pretty good. Then we have Keep to Leave. What do you think of that?
The price tag for him was definitely steep. I don't think anyone's really worth that much money for his position. I would have liked to seen DRC stay, like we were talking about. I think Talib is just fine, though. I think we needed to throw money at defense, and because we already know we have the offense, of course. So, but like everyone says, and it ended up hitting us in the face, that defense wins championships, and that's the one way we need to go. That's the one way we need to address. The one thing we need to address is the defense. So, what's your take on Talib from New England Patriots?
I can't hear. What the fuck's going on?
What's your take on Talib?
I can't hear. What the hell's going on with this shit? Crap. Let's see here. Shit. What's going on? All right, this is bad. All right, hold on a second, man. Okay. All right. Can you hear me?
Yep, I sure can.
Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. All right, let's try this again.
Go back to Talib.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's your take on Aqib Talib coming to the Broncos from the New England Patriots?
Well, I really like it because, like I said, we definitely needed the secondary this year. I mean, as we all know, last year, I mean, our weakest point was the secondary because our corners were just getting burned every single week, giving up so many big plays, and with the key back there in the secondary corner, I think he is going to add to that secondary. So have to see what happens, but that we did need that defense. We did need that secondary. So like you said, though the price tag was a little steep, but let's see if he's worth it. But we'll have to see what happens. But I'll give this a solid B.
All right, and next we have DeMarcus Ware. What's your take on DeMarcus Ware coming to the Broncos?
What the hell's going on here? Let's see. Why does this keep doing this? I don't understand this. Why? Okay, there we go. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this shit, dude. Try it again.
All right. What's your take on DeMarcus Ware coming to the Broncos from the Cowboys?
Oh, well, I mean, DeMarcus Ware is a pretty good defensive end, and he is definitely going to add to that front seven, but, did he have really any impressive numbers last year?
No.
Not really.
No.
So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's kind of 50-50 with me. But he probably will add to that front seven, dude, but I really don't know. I mean, I'll say a solid C, but we'll have to see what happens, man. But, when you're playing with the fucking Cowboys, I mean, when can you ever look good? But, we'll have to see. But, I don't know, man. What do you think about it?
I think that the Marcus Ware is a good fit for the Broncos. He has a good leadership value. He was when he was on the sideline, he tugged at Des Bryant to shut his mouth and keep his trap shut when he was freaking out and flipping out on some players. So I kind of like that leadership value that could be, that could pay dividends for like Von Miller, since he's acted up so badly last year, and needs to get his stuff, his stuff straight. I think DeMarcus Ware could do some good for the Denver Broncos for being a veteran, and you never know, he could probably get his stats up for sacks when he comes to the Broncos. So that's my take on DeMarcus Ware. And then we have Emmanuel Sanders, who came from the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's your take on Emmanuel Sanders coming to the Broncos, Adrian?
I like this signing because we losing Eric Decker. We needed a wide receiver, and a wide receiver coming from Pittsburgh. With Ben Roethlisberger as quarterback, you really can't tell with anybody anymore because he's really not the same Ben Roethlisberger as we saw in 2005. So I really can't tell. But Emmanuel Sanders is a pretty good receiver. So I mean, I'll have to wait and see what happens. But I do like this signing because we needed a wide receiver after we lost Eric Decker. So what's your take on it? I like this signing.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders, he can catch the ball. He doesn't trip over his feet like Eric Decker. I think he's a great substitution. Yeah, he's very fast, it seems like. Steel Legends says supposedly he drops the ball, but I don't know. It can't be as bad as Eric Decker. So, but I mean, Eric Decker had some good points through last season. I think he had 3 or 4 touchdowns in a game. So, but Emmanuel Sanders, I think with the speed, we need that speed on offense that, kind of like Trenton Holiday's speed almost. I wouldn't say it's going to be that electrifying, but it's going to be fast. So it'll be cool to see him in action and exciting. And that's what we need is some excitement on our our offense is already exciting enough, but Emmanuel Sanders will be a good fit for us, I think, in the long run. So that's my take on him coming to the Broncos. And now our segment, I'm going to give away a prize, possibly, if you guys can answer this question, send it to mhhshow@gmail.com. That's mhhshow@gmail.com. I'm going to be giving away this Champ Bailey sketch from Don Medina. If you guys can correctly answer this question, the winner, if you get the answer right, your name will be listed in a drawing and I'll draw a name, and the winner will receive this shipped to them in the mail. Just give me your mailing address. The question is, what NFL team's field goal kicker scored a touchdown on the Broncos? That question is, what NFL team's field goal kicker scored a touchdown against the Broncos? It was a very embarrassing loss. Send your answer to us at MHH Show@gmail.com.
Hold on, let's try this again. That one kind of messed up a little bit.
All right, I can redo it.
Yeah. And that sound means it is time for the question of the day. So this is Jared's specialty, so take it away, Jared.
All right, I'll be giving away this Champ Bailey sketch from Don Medina. Really nice sketch. Winner will receive that. You must guess the correct answer, and you will be up for a drawing, which the winner will be picked from that drawing. Send your answer to mhhshow@gmail.com. That's mhhshow@gmail.com. And the question is, what NFL team's field goal kicker scored a touchdown against the Broncos? The question is, again, what NFL team's field goal kicker scored a touchdown against the Broncos? And that is it for that segment.
And what year was that, Jared?
What year was that? I believe it was like around 2010, 2011. It was the worst. It was during that worst season that we had with Kyle Orton, and I think it was one of the And that's all I'm going to be giving it up to. So
okay,
that's enough clues.
Yeah, that's enough clues. So yeah, be sure to again, guys, if you get that right, you're going to be entered into a drawing for the Champ Bailey sketch. And if you get it right, then you're going to be entered into a drawing, and then we'll draw the number on random.org, and then the winning number will win, and we'll have it shipped out to you. So just send us your address. But again, send your answer to mhhshow@gmail.com for your answer to the question. So yeah, guys, is there anything else to talk about, Jared?
Yeah, I'm just going to describe what I got at some garage sales a few days ago. I ended up getting, this is like $10 worth of stuff. Got a T-shirt of the Denver Broncos from the AFC that says AFC Champions, Super Bowl logo on it, and has the roster, offense, and defense of the Denver Broncos during that year of 1998. Got that for like, what was it, $2. Then I got a long sleeve shirt with the Broncos. It's almost like a long sleeve sweatshirt. Got that for $3 at a garage sale. It's nice logo with navy blue and orange stripes. And then my favorite one is an embroidered Denver Broncos. It's nice embroidered. It says Denver Broncos National Football League. Got that for $5. It's a beautiful sweatshirt. And that is it. That's what I got at the garage sales. And that's about it for that segment. Anything else we got? Adrian, I think we got most of the show done with. And anything else you want to say?
No, that's pretty much going to wrap it up from here, guys. Just thank you guys for tuning in, and if you guys got any questions or comments for me or Jared and you want to be on the show, just send us your request at mhhshow@gmail.com. If you want to be on the show, just send us an email. Just tell us why you want to be on the show, just what you want to talk about, and we'll go through all the requests. And if you want to be on it, just let us know, and then we'll see what we can do, and we'll see if we can get you on. But, yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the first show. Again, questions and comments, mhhshow@gmail.com. We'll be back here again around draft time, maybe, so we'll have to see what happens. But, yeah, guys, thank you guys for tuning in.
Check out our Facebook group.
Oh, yeah, check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Mile High Horseman, and the best Denver Broncos group on Facebook, for damn sure, with over 5,000 members. But yeah, guys, that's all it's going to say from here. But guys, it's going to wrap it up from here. Mile High salute. Go Broncos. Mile High Horseman. We ride together. We die together. We never give up.
Never give up.
Good night,
Later.
everybody.